Welcome to Slow News Day with Kevin Clark. I am Kevin Clark.
Woo! Yes.
Look at this text from Dad. Did you survive?
Is that about the Super Bowl?
No, it's about finding out that you two have never seen Jurassic Park because you're in Gen Z. But yeah, I guess it's about the Super Bowl.
So, all I'm saying is a lot of this, the more you read, the dumber you become.
I feel like that's a good lesson for the kids. All right, Ryen Russillo, host of the Ryen Russillo podcast. Ryan, Jason Gallagher quit, and now I'm with a bunch of Gen Z guys, none of whom have seen Jurassic Park.
I got to tell you, I had a buddy McGurk. I guess we're still buddies. South Shore kid. Jurassic Park came out when we were in college, I believe. Came back that summer feeling good about yourself. And he was like, dude, what'd you do this summer? And we talked about the summer. He's like, dude, you didn't see Jurassic Park at the theater? Honestly, that's the biggest mistake of your entire life. To this day, I'll never not think of that because I never saw it in the theater. So, why
don't you go to once Normal Life resumes? They sometimes have them at like 25th anniversary type screenings.
When I moved to LA, I was going to do a lot of that stuff. I was going to be indie guy.
What was number one on your to-do list when you moved to LA that you didn't do?
Montecito. I wanted to check that place out.
Why didn't you get up there?
It's good. That and the Hornets were on. Should we just stop? That should be it. Nothing is going to matter now the next 15 minutes or whatever you had booked.
All right. Brady Belichick, huh?
What was your big go-to after that?
My take is that the only thing I can say for sure is that Brady was right to leave.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to go back into 20 years and start assigning credit to like wins over the Bills in 2006. Like, I don't need to do that. But what I can do is look around and look at the way that Arians' offense and those skill guys helped him, and then look at the 2019 team and realize how much guys weren't getting open down the field. There was not James White was the highest graded receiver. Like, what was he supposed to do if he stayed?
I'm glad you brought that up because I was afraid for Tom's sake, the way this business works, that what if they had gone like 8-8? And I'd just go, wait, so what would we have done then? What would the exercise have been? We've got about 19 years of evidence that this guy's on another planet, and then at age 43 has an average season with the Bucks, and now it was all Belichick. But that's what people would have done. Instead, I'm just going to go ahead and win my 7th Super Bowl. It never seems real with him. It hasn't seemed real with him for about a decade. The Bill part of this, if Bill Belichick were telling his closest friend, because I can't imagine what that was like watching for Bill. Is he totally honest with his friends being like, I judge this one wrong? Because we did see Tom declining a bit. So if Belichick were to say, hey, look, Tom turned it around. He was energized. He was pissed off. He had better weapons and it was better. But it wasn't like the guy in 18 and 19 was also make-believe. He was declining a bit. There were some numbers we didn't like and we want to give him that money. Okay, fine. So fine. What if I concede all that, which I think you would too? Then what was the plan? If your plan was to avoid decline at the quarterback position and not paying Brady, you did a really bad job backing up whatever you were trying to get away from.
How much does the narrative on Mahomes change, or does it at all after last night? Here's my problem. Sunday night was not Mahomes' fault at all. But my thought process on Mahomes for 2 years has been nothing matters except Mahomes. We saw the limits of that. And so now there's going to be a little bit of creeping doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I don't think Monday's the day to do this kind of stuff. We're talking about somebody who's now been playing at the position for 3 years. I was joking about it on my podcast, but like, yeah, he gets this one and then he only has to get 4 more and go to 8 more. That's all. Just do that.
Then he has to leave and get away from Andy Reid in order to match the legacy.
Yeah, right. Actually, what he's going to have to do is beat Brady head-to-head the next 2 Super Bowls just to get that thing off of 1-1. And then at that point, so if 2 more, that means 3. He's halfway there, but So look, I'm with you on the Mahomes deal, but I think all of us that said it as we said it knew that it didn't mean it was a fact. I mean, Mahomes eventually, I know this sounds crazy, he was going to lose a game. If you're telling me that he's actually not a superhero, okay, but I mean, give me a break here. We're 3 years into the guy's career.
Do you fault the media for not seeing this coming? When we went with the backup tackles, with all that stuff, with the front of the Bucks, don't you feel like we kind of failed?
The tackle part, I definitely was mad at myself about.
Yeah, me too.
There's also a version of this without the tackles and some porous defensive numbers that can scare you, where I think now those are being brought up post-Super Bowl. Like, oh, that defense always kind of sucked. You realize they're a week 16 mail it in, a week 17, 16th regular season mail it in game from being a 17-1 team in the Super Bowl. So let's not act like they sucked. But the tackle part, I regret not thinking about that more, but that's the Mahomes factor.
Interesting book.
What's the book line?
No, that's what I want to get to. What are we reading right now?
I'm reading that Cosmos book. So we're on Einstein right now. The relativity stuff, challenging Isaac. There's this German guy, Mach. I believe he's German. Somebody double check that. So, we're talking about slices of time. And honestly, it feels like you're reading the most boring script version of a Christopher Nolan movie.
Isn't that just Tenet?
No, it's not Tenet. Interstellar. No, it is pretty interesting. I don't want to say that because it's not boring, but it was like, hey, I need to do something a little different and challenge myself. So I'm doing that. And then I'm also reading Astoria. Man, I'm a third of the way in this one. Sending a boat around Cape Horn and then bringing it back up. They'd stop in Hawaii, hang out. Sometimes they have deserters that were like, are you kidding? I'm supposed to leave Hawaii? Look at this place. People dancing, poi, left and right. Supposed to get back on the fucking boat with you guys? Nope. And they went up to the Columbia River there. So we're talking like Vancouver, I think. And let me just tell you, it's tough to get your vessel into this mouth of the Columbia, because that's where I'm at right now. Guys are dying left and right. There's even a place on the map, Kevin, called Cape Disappointment, which would not be the first place I would want to dock my boat.
Well, you say that, but then the Cape of Good Hope is apparently the most dangerous place in the world.
That's kind of like a Greenland, Iceland thing there.
I don't think that they did a great job of naming these places. All right, let's do Club Kevin.
Did we do anything to news? We didn't do anything, did we?
Brooks Koepka. We have baseball.
Lou Dobbs out. I didn't watch that show, despite rumors.
Let's do state by state.
I saw something about Bozeman over there. Anything good going on there?
Check it out. Wildlife officials have approved new restrictions limiting the transportation of deer, elk, and moose carcasses statewide to help prevent further spread of chronic wasting disease.
That just seems smart. That's the kind of thing when you read out of Bozeman, you go, what year is it?
All right, let's do Club Kevin. Who are we putting in?
I forgot about this part.
Koepka here. The weather.
Club Kevin. I'm going to put anyone in there who a year from now is still using the weekend meme in the Funhouse Marathon.
Oh.
Because I'd like to know how much life that has. Because it's kind of one of those things where you're like, hey, I'm kind of a social media guy. We're talking weekend memes years from now. That would be impressive. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just something I'm thinking about.
Did you share it one?
I couldn't think any cool ones.
You just spent 3 hours staring at your computer?
Did you have one that was like
last night.
Like topical, like Belichick looking for a receiver in the draft?
Yeah. No, I did that and then deleted it. Ryen Russillo, this was amazing. Thanks, buddy.